With respect to 5519 in 2017, we codified in our statutes in section 33B the need to look seriously at our programs and set up a results-based accountability. We need the metrics. We need to know, as good stewards of taxpayer dollars, are we getting the bang for our buck? Are we getting the return on investment? Indeed, Connecticut joined Results First with Pew and MacArthur that was to look at every department and identify programs that worked, where savings could be made, and which programs weren't working, and how we needed to make them better. Another requirement of that section was the creation of a committee made up of both finance, revenue, and bonding and appropriations, as it were a first ever Ways and Means Committee. Having just left a finance public hearing, the fact that we operate in a silo without knowing what's being spent on one side and what's being produced in revenue on the other side seems insane. If this committee is saying we're going to spend X amount of money and finance is not creating the revenue or doesn't know the revenue that's needed to reconcile the two. But having just come from the finance public hearing, one of the things we're looking for, we're constantly being asked to create more tax credits. Well, what are we getting in return for that tax credit? If a business or an industry tells us this will allow us to expand and create more jobs, well, show us the data. Where, if we haven't done it in this state, New York, Massachusetts, Ohio did this, and they saw that the construction industry increased apprenticeships by 50%. And as a result, in terms of revenue, the state made X. We have the ability to get the data, but I don't think even when we have the data, we use that data necessarily to make the informed decisions. And if we don't have the data, we should make that part, embed that in every program, that after X amount of time, if we set up a program without knowing what we want to achieve and how we will measure success, how will we ever know if we're spending tax dollars in the right way? And I think combined committees, by working together, by knowing we want to spend X, where's the revenue coming from? One makes perfect sense. I mean, if you're running your family, if you're running a business, you can't say, I'm going to build a new addition without identifying where the money's going to come from to pay that addition. Or if you're a family, I want to take a vacation or buy a new car. Where is that money going to come from? So it seems that piece seems a no-brainer. And again, as good stewards of taxpayer dollars, surely we should know that if we're spending the money, we're achieving the results we want. Because if we're not, let's put it into programs that do achieve the results we want. At the Niantic Children's Museum, I write grants to foundations all the time. And I have to do a grant report. And in both the application and the report, it says, what are your goals? What are the outcomes? How will you judge success? And when you give the report, you have to respond to the things you said you were going to achieve in the end. And if you can't demonstrate that success, if the program hasn't worked, it's how are you going to tweak it to make it work? Or we're not going to fund this again. You said you were going to do X and you were not able to do X. So how are you going to change the program to deliver the results you told us you were going to do? And as I say, maybe I'm biased because I have to do that all the time, but I don't think that's too much to ask from our agencies, and it's what the residents of Connecticut want, because they believe we should provide things that are important to them, but do it in a way that gets the best bang per buck and that we're paying attention every day. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.